Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to New Jersey Motorsports Park. Live coverage of the penultimate round of the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. Again, live here on the Road to Indy TV app or on the Road to Indy TV YouTube page as well, or IndyPro2000.com, the series website. Green flag has been thrown here at start finish, and we are underway for what will be a 20-minute qualifying session for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship presented by Cooper Tires. Hello, friends. My name is Rob Howden, the voice of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. I'm thrilled to be here once again. It's been about 12 years since I've called an event here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. The last time I was here was in, I believe, 2008, and I was actually calling a Formula BMW event featuring the guy who actually got the championship while I was here, some young American named Alexander Rossi. So it's been a while since I've been here to the Thunderbolt Raceway track at New Jersey Motorsports Park, and it's a fast one for sure. It's tough on the drivers physically, but also very demanding on these Cooper tires because a lot of long duration, kind of consistent radius corners where you're always just keeping that pressure, the lateral G pressure on the tires. The surface itself, not easy on rubber either, and I think tire degradation and tire management are going to be a very crucial thing throughout this entire weekend. At least that's the call I'm getting from almost everybody that I'm talking to. We'll see what happens here in this particular qualifying sessions, whether or not drivers and teams elect to just use one set of Cooper tires or whether they bolt on a second set, understanding that track position is so crucial at this racetrack. Because there's not a lot of places to pass, and because tire deg is a bit higher, qualifying, of course, very important. If you can qualify up front, very likely that you'll finish up front before all is said and done. Great to have you guys with us here, and of course, live circuit commentary with the live circuit cameras that we do have. Good shot there coming through turn number 11A and 11B, leading to turn 12 that shoots them back onto the long half-mile front straightaway here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. 2.25-mile racetrack, 12 turns. And again, a lot of them just these really big, long, sweeping corners. Turn 1, turn 2. We've actually changed a little bit of something. If you've looked at the track map from home, turn 3 is a big sweeping right-hander. We're actually going through what is 3A, B, and C. Essentially, we're turning in early right here, as you'll see them come through, turning in early at 3. And then it's a sweeping left-hander, then a sweeping right-hander leads back onto a straightaway down to turn number 4. Next shot we have coming downhill here to turn number 5, which is a 90-degree sweeping left-hand corner. That corner then rolls up into a big combination 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is turn number 6 here. The drivers get themselves set up, turn into the right-hand turn number 6. Short shoot into turn what is now 7, 8, and 9. This is essentially this long-running right-hand carousel that just keeps pulling, keeps using the tires up, back, flip-flopping back over to turn number 10, which is the final shot we'll see before they come onto the straightaway. Turn 10 then is this big left-hander that leads into this very kind of running and smooth and flowing 11A, 11B, driver coming through there now, and then under the bridge through turn number 12, which nowhere near being even a 90-degree corner. It's probably about maybe even less than 45 degrees. Not much of a corner there as the drivers stay on throttle and work their way down this long straightaway. So it's an interesting lap. Not a lot of those hard braking corners that we would see at most of the circuits we go to, if not all of the circuits other than New Jersey, that have that at least one hard braking zone to allow you to make that pass on the brakes. That just simply does not happen at this particular racetrack, and it's going to make things incredibly interesting. Tire strategy, as I said, crucial. Because simply put, the drivers have 4 sets of tires for 5 official sessions. Of course, practice this morning, nobody used any fresh rubber at all, understanding that tires are going to be crucial. Everybody using their carryover set from Mid-Ohio. So essentially 2 qualifying sessions and 3 races with 4 sets of tires. And drivers and teams, really that has kind of been one of the strategy calls of how they're going to approach things. We'll wait till we get a couple of laps in the books here. We've seen drivers turn their fastest laps in USF 2000 around lap 3, 4, and 5. So we'll give these guys a couple more laps here to put some heat into these Coopers, and we'll tell you what we got going. Almost everybody with the second lap in the books, as you see the shot coming down the front straightaway here. That is Jacob Abel in the 51 machine, the PM18 for Able Motorsports. Full-time competitor last year here in the program alongside Parker Thompson. This year, sporadic entry. Been running a couple races in the tail of the season here, running both the oval races as well as Mid-Ohio, and now here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Actually, he did not run at the oval or the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Ran both Lucas Oil Raceway and Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Skipped the road course at Indianapolis, and then was at Mid-Ohio as well. And that's Jacob Abel, as I said, in that number 51 machine. Stingray Rob into pit lane. He just laid down a 113.060. So as I said, 2, 3, 4 laps max, and they've already done it. They're bringing fresh tires out here for Stingray Rob. He's already P1, so he put fresh rubber on for that run. Drivers not able to use the carryover set into anything past practice, so they're not able to use that carryover set throughout the weekend. Indeed, having to go to fresh tires. Looks to me like they are going to go immediately to fresh rubber here for Stingray Rob, and I think for them, that pole position key. They would love to get the pole for Stingray or Artem Petrov. Either driver would be happy with them. Stingray comes into the event here with 5 races to go. 3 here at New Jersey Motorsports Park, 2 at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg in 2 weeks. A 49-point lead in the championship for Stingray Rob on the strength of 4 wins over the last 5 races. Swept Indianapolis Motor Speedway, won the back end of the doubleheader at Mid-Ohio. And he's in very good position to try to win this scholarship to move up to the Indy Lights program in 2021. Indeed, fresh rubber going on the cars of the number 2 Stingray Rob and the 42 of Artem Petrov for Juncos Racing. Looks like primary championship challenger Devlin DeFrancesco in the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport machine. That number 17 car, he's coming to pit lane as well. He's currently P5 in the order, a 113.468. Here's your Fast 5. As we're getting some laps in. Stingray Rob, 113 flat. Parker Thompson, 113.176. Manuel Suleiman in 3rd. Artem Petrov, 4th. And Devlin DeFrancesco rounding out the Fast 5. 6th is Corey Enders. 7th is Hunter McElroy. 8th, Daniel Frost. 9th, Colin Kaminsky. 10th, Antoine Camo. 11th, Jacob Abel. And 13th is Charles Finelli. You can see the drivers coming through 11A and B. And right to the driver's right is where you would pull into pit lane and come underneath the bridge into the pit lane here on the front straight. The 18 of Hunter McElroy, the 83 of Charles Finelli rolling by, as well as I believe the 68 of Daniel Frost. In comes Colin Kaminsky for Pabst Racing. He'll work his way into pit lane. Currently 9th in the order, a 113.773, just 7 tenths back. Other than Charles Finelli, 1.2 seconds separating your top 11 drivers. Very close competition in Indy Pro 2000. Of course, the second rung of the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. If you have not yet listened to or watched either the Facebook Live interview that I did with Danny Anderson in regards to the Indy Lights announcement from Wednesday, you can watch that, of course, on the Indy Lights Facebook page. It's also on my personal Rob Howd YouTube channel as well. If you're watching this on the Road to Indy TV app, all of my Road to Indy Insider interviews are put into podcast form. They're available on the app as well, so that's up there. So it might be good before you watch the races this afternoon or sometime if you want to get up to speed on what happened with, of course, the confirmation that Indy Lights will be back in 2021. I had a chance to chat with Danny Anderson about that on Thursday afternoon at 4:30. That interview available in a number of different formats. Really big news, of course, for everybody in the Road to Indy, bringing that third component back in, that one, that final step moving to IndyCar. The schedule we expect to hopefully be out by the time we get to St. Petersburg. I know a number of events still getting locked in, of course. We kind of give everybody a little bit of leeway because everybody at IndyCar and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway focused majority of the time through July and August just on getting the Indianapolis 500 in the books. Now, they've now been able to focus on the IndyCar schedule. That's been locked and loaded, as we know. Of course, all that work done for the new street race event down in Nashville. Double weekend getting set up for the Detroit Grand Prix. Man, just a lot of moving parts to put things together. And once IndyCar does get their schedule locked, that's when Road to Indy they can go to work and figure out what events that the series will be on. Will it be all 3 of our Road to Indy series? Will it be just 2? Will it be just 1? We've had all different sorts of setups over the past 10 years the history of this great program. So we'll find out. They'll get it all dialed in, but a great interview with Dan Anderson, the CEO of Anderson Promotions on the road to Indy. And again, lots of ways to either watch or listen to that interview. A lot of drivers have come in to make adjustments and have put on fresh rubber, one of them being Colin Kaminsky. He's headed back out onto the racetrack. Daniel Frost now in here as well for Turn 3 Motorsports. Daniel currently in the 8th position, a winner of the opening round at Road America back in July. Devlin DeFrancesco still into pit lane. Fresh rubber on the cars of Stingray Robb and Artem Petrov. And with 9 minutes remaining, over 9.5 minutes remaining, probably not a huge hurry right now for these guys. They currently are a 10th quicker than Parker Thompson. Stingray Robb on the provisional pole, a 1:13.060. We'll see if anybody does anything. Parker Thompson's still sitting on pit lane in the number 9. You got to figure he'll go out sooner or later because he is back by 103 points. Parker needs every point possible. 165 points up for grabs over the next 5 races. 33 for a perfect day. Winning the race, qualifying on pole, fast lap, and most laps led. 33 points times 5. 165 points up for grabs. Parker needs all 165, you have to believe, if he wants to get himself back up front. He's had some rough goes. Looked like he had probably a guaranteed win at Mid-Ohio, and then the engine let go on him. It just has not been, actually it's been very typical of the bad luck that Parker Thompson has shown over the years. He's been a race winner in USF 2000, a race winner on multiple occasions in Indy Pro 2000 as well. Just has not been able to get that full season of the good luck he needed to be able to win a championship. But running again for D-Force Racing this year, Parker Thompson out of Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. He and Hunter McElroy, the two drivers you figure that who have not won yet this year. We've had 7 winners in Indy Pro. McElroy, who won multiple races last year in USF 2000. Parker's, who's won multiple races at both levels, the first 2 levels of the road to Indy, has yet to taste the champagne on the top of the box. So both those drivers, you figure, are ready for a breakout. Of course, Parker Thompson swept the weekend last year at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg when he was with Able Motorsports, so that sets him up well when they head back to Florida. That's why if he has a good weekend here, I wouldn't count him out. You never know what happens. All it takes, again, as I say, is one DNF. We saw it happen with a number of DNFs in USF 2000 that has closed that championship up after Christian Rasmussen off to a massive start. You put a DNF here, DNF there, and have a bad overall weekend in one of these triple-header weekends, and, man, you're in trouble. Stingray Robb still on top, 113.060. Starting to see a little blue sky and some sun coming out. A beautiful 72-degree day here. That's the ambient temperature trackside. Got to expect the track temps probably up somewhere into the mid-90s. Still looking at the iPhone here, and they're saying potential for rain tomorrow. 30% chance at 11, 40% chance at 12, 50% chance at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Could have some wet weather for tomorrow afternoon's events. We'll see how it all shakes out. We're going racing with USF 2000 later today, though. Green flag at 3 o'clock scheduled start time for USF 2000. We'll start the show at about 2:50, and then starting at 4:25 for Indy Pro 2000. Green flag set to fly at about 4:35 this afternoon. All, of course, live here on Road to Indy TV. Here's your Fast Five right now. Stingray Robb, 113 flat. Parker Thompson, 113.1. Everybody is off the pit lane, I believe, indeed. All 12 cars on the racetrack. Parker Thompson, P2. Manuel Suleiman is D-Force Racing teammate in 3rd. Manuel coming off a win at Mid-Ohio. Colin Kaminsky in 4th spot. Hunter McElroy in 5th. Are the Paps Racing drivers 4th and 5th right now. DeFrancesco is right behind Petrov. That's 7th and 6th. Corey Anderson 8th. Daniel Frost in 9th. Antoine Camo in 10th. Jacob Abel 11th. And Charles Finelli in 12th. 6 minutes remaining in the session. When we cap this session off, we'll be just about 35 minutes away from the start of our first race. We'll give you the driver introduction when we roll in, the call to fire up the engines here from trackside, and then we'll go racing. As I said, a 3 o'clock green flag. 20 laps or 45 minutes for USF 2000. 25 laps or 50 minutes for Indy Pro. Stingray Robb back on the racetrack at 113.060. Still a provisional pole time. A championship fight, the bonus point for the pole isn't just 1 point. It's really 2, because you are taking it yourself and you're taking it away from somebody who's challenging you for the championship. If Stingray Rob gets the pole and Devlin DeFrancesco does not, essentially it's a 2-point swing, because you add 1 to Stingray that you wouldn't have added to DeFrancesco. That's what the overall, every point's worth that much. Rob, Thompson, Mantonwell, Suleiman, Kaminsky, and McElroy, the fast 5. Fresh tires going on for probably most of the drivers here on pit lane. Seemed like that was the move to go, as the fresh tires here. They know they need to start up front. So give them a couple laps, and we'll dial things in. Lap 3 was the best for Rob. Lap 4 for Thompson. Lap 3 for Suleiman. Lap 5 for Petrov. Lap 7 for Kaminsky. So you got to figure when we get maybe 2 more laps in, drivers will have these Cooper tires up to the optimum operating temperature, and we will start knocking out quick laps. This is an opportunity to make finite adjustments. We didn't see many front or rear cowls coming off. I don't think we had much in the terms of damper adjustments. Tire pressure adjustments for sure. You got to get the tire pressure exactly right. When the tire comes up to temperature, you want the pressure exactly perfect. Of course, these cars are getting lighter and lighter with every lap on the fuel load. It's a long racetrack here, 2.25 miles. So the drivers with 12 on track, easy to be able to gap themselves. DeFrancesco, first driver into the 112s. There you go. 112.789. Devlin DeFrancesco goes P1. That's the battle between he and Stingray Rob. Artem Petrov to second at 112.952. 2 drivers into the 112s. DeFrancesco and Petrov. For Stingray Rob, anybody but DeFrancesco would be the best. Stingray goes to P2, a 112.798. 8 thousandths of a second separate first and second. DeFrancesco, Rob, Petrov, Thompson, and Suleiman. Colin Kaminsky probably done for the session. 3 minutes to go. He'll bring that car to a stop. Kaminsky goes to P6, a 113.393, his best. A 112.789. Provisional pole for Devlin DeFrancesco as he tries to claw 1 point back. It's a 49-point cushion for Stingray Rob coming into these first of 5 races to cap off the season. That's it for McElroy as well. He'll come to a stop. Hunter McElroy, P8, 113.462. Drivers working their way out of turn number 10 and 11 through that 11A, 11B combination. Stingray robbed with an 800th of a second. 2 minutes remaining in the session. A battle for the single point. Rob back onto the front straightaway. Does not go quicker last time by. A 112.892. Backs it off by about a 10th of a second. He's got to go a 10th in the other direction. Not even that. Half a 10th. Literally a 100th of a second quicker than his best time. He goes P1. DeFrancesco still holding on. Minute and a half remaining. DeFrancesco's into pit lane. That's it for Devlin DeFrancesco. 112.789. He'll stand on that to see if it's enough to steal away the pole position for race 1 this afternoon. Stingray Rob trying to grab that point. He's going to get 2 laps if he wants them. Again, this track tough on tires. You don't want to use them up too much here in qualifying. That first set, of course, will run through that heat cycle. It'll probably be used tomorrow, I would bet. Maybe even later on today. We'll see. Tire strategy and allocation, so crucial. Stingray Rob still on the racetrack. Driver spun with a yellow flag flying. Driver is spun over. I think that's in turn. That's the big sweeper there. Oh, driver down to the inside. Yellow flag flying. I think that may be Charles Finelli who's gone around in that corner. A 13.782. Stingray not able to go quicker on that last lap. And in fact, red and checker being thrown. It's going to cap it off. Stingray Rob doesn't get it done. And Devlin DeFrancesco chips away a point. A crucial pole for the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport crew. As Stingray, I think, had to probably check up with the spin there by Charles Finelli. Stingray Rob will start on the outside of the front row. DeFrancesco, P1. Big point there. Cut it down to 48 points between first and second. DeFrancesco, P1. Stingray Rob, second. Manuel Suleiman ends up third. Artem Petrov in fourth. Parker Thompson caps off the top five. He'll start alongside Colin Kaminsky on row number 3. Daniel Frost and Hunter McElroy on row 4. Corey Enders and Antoine Camo on row 5. And Jacob Abel and Charles Finelli on row number 6. So Finelli, that loop over, and I want to say, trying to pick up which corner that was. I think that's the sweeper there. That'll be coming through that turn number 8, 9, 10 combination. Essentially turn number 8 leading to 9. It's that long duration right-hand sweeper, and obviously the rear end just kind of coming out there on the back of Finelli. He ends up getting high-centered, I think, on the outside of the racetrack. But nonetheless, with about probably a minute and a half remaining, there would have been one more lap for Stingray Rob, but instead, checker flag and red comes out, and that caps off this qualifying run and leads a point over to Devlin DeFrancesco, the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport driver, a 112.789, 87 ten-thousandths of a second quicker than Stingray Rob. Those two drivers embroiled in the championship. In fact, 1, 2, 3 in the championship, 1, 2, 4 on the grid as they get set to go. It'll be Petrov behind his teammate Rob on the outside of the starting order when we go main event racing for these drivers in this Indy Pro category at 4:35 this afternoon. That's when the green flag will fly. That's going to wrap things up here right now for the Road to Indy TV coverage, because we will be back, as I said, at about 2:50. It's 2:06 right now, so let's say we'll be back here in just over 40 minutes' time to get things underway, get the coverage started. Of course, we've got our command to start engines from one of our guests here at New Jersey Motorsports Park for the weekend. Otherwise, USF 2000 drivers will go wheel-to-wheel racing for the first time here in New Jersey. Thank you so much for tuning in to live coverage here on the Road to Indy TV app or whichever outlet you elected to use here today. Come back and join us. A couple more races for you before a lot of action on Sunday. Race 1 for both USF 2000 and Indy Pro, all live here on Road to Indy TV. On behalf of everyone at the Anderson Promotions, Road to Indy TV, and of course, everyone here from New Jersey Motorsports Park, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.